Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we're going to go over this book once again, The Art of Revenge of the Sith, as we lead into the Kenobi show on Disney+. Today I want to go over a concept art that I saw many years ago, and I never fully made a video, and actually made a video on this. But while covering this, I also want to theorize on what could happen in Kenobi if something like this could even happen, which, I mean, the concept art was here to happen in Revenge of the Sith on Mustafar. Let me explain. So here is the image. This is a concept art of something that was on the table to happen in Revenge of the Sith. Check it out. You've got Obi-Wan and Anakin in the midst of their battle. They have to team up together one last time, once again, as brothers, to fight against this massive, monstrous beast. And they essentially just named it the Mustafar monster. But first of all, how beautiful would it have been if, you know, while trying to kill themselves, while trying to fight each other, they had to team together one last time, like brothers, giving a bit of a Clone Wars flashback, and them teaming up for the final time before, you know, the ultimate demise of Anakin Skywalker at the hands of Obi-Wan. Now, we didn't get that in Revenge of the Sith, amongst other things that we could have gotten, like the knife scene with Padme, which I can explain later. But what if we could get this in the Kenobi show, where they're fighting each other? Now, you know, Vader, this is the first time Vader sees Obi-Wan after he lost to him. And that was the last time that he saw his wife. You know, the last time he saw his wife was with Obi-Wan, and now his life's completely changed. When he woke up, he no longer was Anakin Skywalker. He no longer had his wife. And when he was with Kenobi, he did. So he blames Obi-Wan for literally everything. As we saw in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, he blames Obi-Wan for his mother's death. He blames Obi-Wan, amongst, you know, not being powerful enough. He blames Obi-Wan for everything wrong with his life. He blames Obi-Wan for holding him back. He blames Obi-Wan for not being the Jedi that he should be, not being a master, and above all, not being able to save Padme. And so it's for all these reasons that I think seeing him for the first time again in Kenobi as Vader now, 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, I think it's going to be such a different dynamic between the two, and I think Vader is going to be the most angry that he has ever been, because this is like a very fresh wound, and it's the first time that he's seen him since all this stuff has gone down, since we left them in Mustafar. So it would be amazing, in my opinion, if during their battle, their heated battle, and that's the point I'm trying to make, what if there's this massive monster on the planet that they're on? Could be Mustafar, could be wherever they are, I don't know. And they have to team up one last time. Vader and Obi-Wan. And what if that is the way that they actually get separated? This monstrous beast in between the two of them and trying to rip them apart. And somehow Obi-Wan jumps away and Vader ends up killing the beast. But at that point, you know, Obi-Wan's gone. And maybe Obi-Wan realizes that he can't beat Vader. Maybe he knows that this is not the time and place to really do this, because perhaps Leia needs help, perhaps Luke needs help back on Tatooine. I don't really know. Maybe he just gets bested. Fair enough. That'd be pretty cool. But I think seeing something like this would do two things. It would really jar the emotions of the viewers. And the second thing is that it builds this stark contrast between what once was as Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Clone Wars now is quite different. And it really connects all of the events of, I'd say, the prequels to this moment. And as they're fighting and kind of, I don't want to say teaming up, but yeah, teaming up in a sense so that they don't get killed, it's like this last moment of beauty where they're using their familiarity with one's attacks and movements to really work in tandem like they did in the Clone Wars and fight this beast and demolish it. Now, whether Obi-Wan gets away or not, well, I don't know. Maybe that's how they go off their own ways in the battle, which would be fine, but I kind of feel like that's a little bit of a cheap move. You know, there's always something that happens. Like in The Force Awakens, the Earth opened up. In this one, you know, a beast comes in and kind of makes them separated. I don't really like that too much. I want them to go away on their own terms. Let's say someone beats the other person, or whatever, someone falls off a cliff perhaps, which even that is along the same lines of what I don't want. But I do feel like if this happened, that it would be pretty nice to see. It would be quite emotional. Now, at this point when Obi-Wan and Kenobi will fight, I don't really know exactly what angle they're going to go off of. You know, are they going to make Kenobi much stronger? Are they going to make Vader much stronger? Or are they going to make them evenly matched like in Revenge of the Sith? However, I will say in the novel for A New Hope, Kenobi really realizes that, well, I guess this retcons that, but the novel at least. But for the first time, he notices how powerful Vader has become because of the cybernetic limbs and attachments that he has. How much more imposing of a figure he is because he's so much taller now. And he's so much more powerful. His limbs are much bigger and longer. And essentially, he's fighting a machine. While Kenobi was very powerful in the Force, his body just wasn't nearly what it was when he was younger. And especially against this machined Vader full of rage, he was definitely losing, and he acknowledged that in the book. Now, as for what's going to happen in the show, I don't know. But they definitely have to take into account the fact that Vader is now a very big machine cyborg. And he's not the same Anakin that he was, who was very fast and fluid with movements, but he's kind of sacrificed that now to have this much taller, bigger machine who is much stronger than any human could be. So we'll see what happens if they actually incorporate some beast like this where they have to team up for the last time. I think it's going to make everybody tear up, and it's going to be a really nice nod to, you know, what once was and to what is. Now, the thing I wanted to talk about Padme that I mentioned earlier, which there's a concept art of her meeting Anakin on Mustafar, and she has a knife, so she's actually there to kill him. But of course, you know, she doesn't at the end of the day. But the very fact that she was there with that intent and purpose after everything that he has done in Order 66, I think really would have solidified her arc as a very strong female in the movie. And I feel like in the Clone Wars, they did a really great job of showing how powerful and strong-minded and badass Padme really was. I feel like in the prequel trilogy in the movies, they didn't show it as well. So if you want to dive more into Padme, which we might in the Kenobi show, I mean, I'd be highly surprised if we didn't get a lot of flashback scenes in Vader's bacta tank. If we get that, I mean, there could be so much more fleshing out of Padme's character arc and her stories that we haven't seen before. A lot of these concept designs, I'm pretty inclined to believe that, you know, they're at least thinking about them on the writing room table. So they're most likely discussing a lot of these different things, I hope, and maybe they'll incorporate some of them into the actual show. Now, as for wanting to go and kill Anakin, she does change her mind eventually, you know, because she sees Anakin and all that, and, you know, love takes over. However, there was that intent for him to die at her hand, and this would have almost been like a Thanos and Gamora scene with the knife, whereas she actually did it, Padme did not. But you guys can let me know what you think below in the comments about that too, about Padme with the knife scene. So that's what I think about that. I'd love to see this in the show. Let me know what you guys think. Do you want to see something like this? What do you expect to see when they fight? Apparently they're going to be fighting twice. Do you think it's going to be a dream sequence, or do you think it's going to be the real deal? So I guess we'll see. Only 2 more months remaining, pretty much. 2 months and a little bit. And I could be more excited, man. Very, very, very hyped for this show. So, and the watch parties to do with you guys. It'll be fun. I'll see you guys in the next vid. Let me know what you think. And until then, remember, the Force will be with you always.